What's up, guys? Welcome to Chimi-Comics, and you are watching... I don't know, what are you watching?
Chimi-Manga.
We calling it that?
Chimichanga, Chimi-Manga.
Anyway, my name is Riley.
I'm Wyatt.
But you already know that if you've been here. So, what we did is, I thought it'd be a great idea to read a new manga from every genre according to Right Stuff Media, which is where Right Stuff Anime, which is where I got this stuff from, most of it. So Right Stuff is a pretty cool company where you can buy manga for discount prices. They do have good shipping, and they have a lot of good stock. So I definitely recommend shopping there.
They're today's sponsor. No,
yeah, I wish. But they're a really good company, and I ordered a lot of this stuff from them, and they sent me a big box of it. So
yeah, Riley was just calling me up. He's just like talking to me and Tanner. He's just like, hey, let's read a manga of every genre I can find. And of course, whenever it's about reading a bunch of stuff at once, Tanner's just like
nowhere to be found,
peacing out, just disappearing. Can you edit me peacing out here? Just but I was like, okay, Riley, this ain't gonna be as bad as reading all the Crisis, so I'll do it. And I read most of these yesterday, to be fair.
I mean, to be fair, the manga reads super quick.
They do.
So you can do each one of these in like an hour or less. But, so, I didn't want to make it too hard. I didn't want to go like every technical genre in existence. But we've got 8 genres here.
Shijitsukasan.
I don't really remember which one is which. I know, like, so I can do some of them. So, Golden Kamuy, I guess, would be like an action type / adventure. Perfect World is a romance. Mujirushi was like a drama, I think.
It was. No Guns Life was sci-fi.
No Guns Life sci-fi. Demon Slayer would be like an adventure / action. So you can switch either one. They're
Komi.
kind of both. Komi Can't Communicate is our comedy. Promised Neverland was, I guess,
a mind fuck. Hold on, I got the list.
And Shijitsukasan, I think we said was like a horror.
You wrote down
type.
horror. It's horror. It has horror elements, but it's more shonen.
Well, see, so does Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
So
Promised Neverland was mystery.
So
that's romance, right. Perfect World. Horror was Jujutsu. Yeah. Fantasy was Demon Slayer. Mujirushi was drama. And action was Golden Kamuy.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then No Guns Life, of course, sci-fi.
So like you could deem this an adventure.
Yeah, you could.
It's
what it is. It's shonen.
But like there are some horror elements, so I just threw that in.
Yeah.
I could have gotten like a real horror book, but I wanted to try to keep it to new books.
Yeah.
Like
fairly new books. Because you've got Uzumaki, and that's a horror.
Yeah, that's definitely horror. Yeah. So. Most of these are ongoing except for Mujirushi, which is like a standalone book.
It's a one-off standalone.
But yeah, so we'll just get right into it. We'll kind of tell you like the basic rundown of each book, what we thought of it, and if we're going to continue reading it. So first we got Shijitsukasan, which is kind of like a martial arts meets Harry Potter type vibe, because they're like in a sorcery school.
And the characters, and how some stuff is set up, it reminded me a bunch of Naruto.
Yeah, it's
very similar to that with the premise, just not in a ninja way. And I feel like this is a better execution than Kishimoto can handle, because I love Kishimoto, but man, that man is just not the best writer.
So you really liked this?
Yes, I really did like this. Like this is my favorite probably out of all of them.
That's cool.
I can just say that.
Wow.
So
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. So, when you told me about it, I was just like, curses.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'll read it, and then I read it, and I was like, holy crap, this is great. And then the anime started, and I watched a bit of that, and that was really cool.
That anime looks good.
But yeah, so they're in a world.
It's about a kid named
Itadori. He's the main character. He's our shonen MC.
So he kind of like has some natural ability, right? Like
he's very good at fighting close quarters.
He's one of those guys that just has it. Like he could do just about anything he wants to do, and he's very strong, and he doesn't ever like do anything. I don't think he plays sports really. Or anything, but he's super muscly.
Yeah, he's like 80 kilograms is what they always say.
He's the basic shonen
shonen main character. Yeah. But he's like with this paranormal club at high school, and they find this weird looking tome thing in like the soccer field, and they're like, we're gonna open it.
Yeah.
And then this other dude shows up and finds Itadori. He's like, where is it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I think they were gonna open it. He's like, oh my gosh, we gotta
have
go.
to stop them.
We have to stop
They
them.
open it,
Yeah.
and it's like a little witchy looking finger.
Yeah.
It's a severed finger.
So that finger is filled with cursed energy, and when cursed energy is around, it causes stuff to get way wacko and causes curses to pop up, and curses need to be exorcised. And who exorcises them? Jujitsu sorcerers.
Yes, they
and
do.
that's who this guy is. This is Megumi Fushiguro, and he's a jujitsu sorcerer. He's the same age as Itadori. So he goes in to fight and arrests and Itadori.
Do they call it curses when they use it?
Yeah, it's still
They call it a
they call it jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like that's the abilities and stuff
I think they called them curses too.
Yeah, it is, because it's powered by cursed energy all the same.
And like you use your cursed energy around you to you like manipulate it.
And cursed energy is fueled by emotions, mainly negative. So a place that has a lot of negative, like hospitals, cemeteries, stuff like that, is where a lot of curses pop up. So they almost die, and freaking Itadori is like, I'm gonna kill it, and he's like, you can't. You can only exercise curses with curse energy. And he's like, oh, I just need curse energy, huh? And he eats the freaking finger, the cursed object, and he's just like, well, now he's dead. But wait, if it's a 1 in a million, and he like transforms. So basically, this cursed object is super special grade, is what they call it. It's from an ancient curse named Sezuna, and his,
like the big one.
yeah,
it's their Voldemort.
Their Voldemort. And now that curse has come back, and he can kind of take over Itadori's body, but Itadori can suppress it and take back control. So he can keep up and keep him suppressed. So he's basically, this curse is basically like the Kyuubi, or the nine-tailed fox in Naruto. That's basically what it is.
Aren't there 20 pieces?
There's 20 pieces.
Fingers and toes.
Yeah.
So like, as he eats more, the guy inside of him like gets stronger.
Yeah.
So
But
like
when
it's hard to switch back.
But
sometimes.
these pieces can't be destroyed physically. You
Yeah.
can't destroy him. So, but if he dies with all of them inside, they get destroyed.
See, they were gonna kill him because he ate that finger.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, if we let him eat them all,
And
then
this
we can
is
kill him.
Gojo.
He's
who's-
like, okay.
Gojo, who's his sensei now.
Understandable.
Yeah, Gojo is a badass. Like, he toys with this. When the curse takes over Itadori's body, Gojo shows up and is like, hey, I hope you don't mind, though. I've got a student watching, so I'm going to show off. And then completely wrecks that. He's Kakashi.
Yeah, he is.
He's
Even
really
has the
cool.
blindfold
He's
thing,
got
like-
Kakashi, except the top half of his face is hidden.
Yeah.
But, so he
I'll show him
decides.
some art.
Yeah.
This is cool stuff.
So he decides that he is not going to kill him, and he's going to not listen to the jujitsu higher-ups. He's going to train Itadori at Jujitsu High School in Tokyo. And so that's where they meet Nobara, who's the first year. So the first year students there's just 3 of them. It's Itadori, Fushiguro, and now Nobara. And they're basically they're like Team 7 was in Naruto. So Nobara and Itadori, they kind of like, she doesn't like him, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. And but whenever something exciting happens, they both get really excited about it. Like Gojo is like, we're gonna give you a tour of Tokyo, and they're like, oh, Disneyland. And they're both like super crazy. And Fushiguro is like Sasuke, except very likable. So. And it's just fun. Their dynamic is cool. I like their interactions.
This series, there's like so much lore with it. You know, like there's a lot you can learn from this because they pack so much into it. Like there's so much.
It's like Naruto. Like when Naruto first started, and you get introduced to the Shinobi world. Now we're getting introduced to the Jujitsu
you're just
world.
dropped into this whole world, and he, Akutami, like he freaking just kills it with this stuff.
He does.
Like he's really put a lot of work into it. You can tell. So this gets like a 9 for me.
Yeah,
I thought it was very good.
It's a 9 to a 10 for me.
I'm very excited to read more. I've got like the next 5 of them.
I've got all of it because I've got Shonen, Shonen on my phone.
But yeah, looking forward to more of this. Next we had Promised Neverland, and like Wyatt said, this is a
mind fuck.
This is a very interesting series that will go somewhere you didn't think it would go.
Okay, so yeah, we start off and there's just an orphanage, and it's this girl named Emma. She's
also,
talking about.
I just want to put this out there. This is very good.
It
and
is.
if you don't want the premise to be spoiled for you, like about 2 chapters in, maybe this takes a complete left turn from where you think it's going.
Well, I mean, I thought something was gonna happen because I was like, "There's no."
I don't
way.
think you thought this.
I didn't think it was gonna be that. I thought it was just gonna be some type of experimentation and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no.
But yeah, so it's about a little girl named Emma. She lives in an orphanage.
And she loves it.
She's, 11?
She's 11. Her and...
She's about to age out.
Yeah, so
she's the
when you
oldest.
turn 6 in the orphanage, that's when you get the chance to get adopted. So, and they also... This is how they start their day. They wake up. All of them do. They go eat breakfast. Mother has breakfast for them. They all love their mother. And... then they go do tests, and
Such a happy story.
Yeah, these tests they're on this big computer screen table thing, and they're answering all these super hard math questions. So Emma, Ray, and Norm all get perfect scores every day. And they're all athletics, but
here's the testing.
Yeah. So I think Ray. Tell me which one is Ray the dark-headed one, or is Ray the blonde?
Yeah, Ray's the dark-headed one.
Okay, so Emma is the best athlete out of the 3, and Ray, he's like the smartest. He's the most with the books and everything. He's always still using free time to read. And Norm, he's basically the most balanced and well-rounded, but they call him the genius prodigy just because he excels in both brains and athletes. And they all 3 get perfect scores.
Ray is super good with tactics too, which will help later.
Yeah. So, and then a girl named Connie is getting adopted. She's 6 years old, and she's like, I never was as good at the test as everyone else, but I'm so happy to have a family now. Do you like my new clothes? Because they all wear these white uniforms. They also have a number tattooed onto their neck.
Yep.
So, and that was
when I saw that, I was like,
there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
So Connie is like, I'm taking this bunny with me. Mother made it for me. It's so special. I love it. But she forgets it, and so Emma,
number on her neck there.
Emma and Norm are like, well, let's just go give it to her. And there's only 2 places they can't go. They can't go over the fence into the forest, and they can't go to the gate.
Yep.
And they're secluded in this wall, pretty much. So they go to the gate to where Connie is, because they're pretty sure she hasn't left yet. And they don't find... Well, they do find Connie. They find Connie's corpse, I think. And then these 2 just freaking...
Hold on, I'll just...
demons. They're demons, and they are mine.
So there's Connie's corpse that they find.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel time.
Oh my god.
These 2 11-year-olds getting traumatized.
And then there's just this.
Yeah.
So
we discovered that this is not an orphanage. This is a farm. The demons eat.
So definitely some horror in here.
Demons eat human flesh, and they like human children. So this orphanage where they have feed, their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's feed. They get to eat as much as they want. And the test, because apparently they discovered that the most tasty part must be the brain, and the smarter you are, the tastier. So that, and the 3
that's why they've made it this long.
Yeah. Because they are the perfect scores. They're the finest pieces of meat. They're the filet. They're the wagyu.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. But they decide they're going to escape. And Ray is telling them, okay, it's pretty much impossible. We have, babies. There's 1-year-old infants here. And all the other kids are so young, they're not going to be able to make it. We can make it, but we don't even know if there's human society out there. It could be a demon's world for all we know. Because, they look back at all the books they have. The last published was 2015. And it's 2030 something.
Yeah.
So
they're like, well, something could have happened in that time. We don't know.
Freaking hell on earth, maybe.
And they also find out that Mother is always able to
track
find
them. She has this
anywhere
compass.
they hide. She can find them.
She can't tell which one is which.
Yes.
Because
so they're she must have a tracker on us.
She knows that 2 of them know the secret.
So they go to the nursery, and Emma's like,
Emma's
hey,
helping change.
I can look at these babies and see where this tracker is, because it would leave a scar.
And she remembers earlier on when she was taking care of the babies, Isabel told her that there's the mark she found behind the ear was from a blood sample. Yeah. But no, it's not. That's where the tracker is, and it's easy to take out because you don't want to eat the tracker.
Do they give the trackers out in this?
Not in this volume,
Not in this
but
one.
they find it. And I think it ends with so Isabella, the mother, gets an assistant, and she is creepy looking. Like her face and smile is really weird.
Yeah.
But there's a picture of her. But she decides that it could be much better, and her career could go further, and she could be a mother instead of just an assistant. If she tells the higher ups that, hey, Isabella here has dropped the ball and isn't doing what she needs to do by shipping out the 3 ones immediately, the ones who know. So if she tells the higher-ups that, then she thinks that she'll get rewarded and be able to be the mother of the most prestigious farm, because that's what this one apparently is. But Isabella, this is...
there's the face.
Yeah, there's the face. There's the face.
There's her face.
But we also discovered that Isabella, she's not a demon pawn per se, but she also has a number on her neck. So she is also food. Yeah. So she could be like waiting for a long time. Like she could be the finest piece of meat. Like I'll take back my earlier statement. The 12-year-olds, they're the like fillet. She's the Isabella's the wagyu. That's it.
I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
The story's very compelling. It's very well executed. It's got good art too. And I think you can watch the anime now. The anime's out. I know it's on HBO Max. It's probably on Funimation too.
I have HBO.
Do you?
Yeah. I got it.
It's on there.
I got it with Hulu.
Oh, cool.
Because I wanted to watch Firefly.
This gets an 8 from me.
I'll give it an 8.5.
Looks pretty good. Next we got Komi Can't Communicate. This is our comedy. It's basically about a girl who has super anxiety. Like she can't
talk to
people.
But she has no like physical tells about it. Like,
right.
And everyone just sees her and she just looks like stone faced, like she's so like brooding and cool. Yeah. Her face is like Sasuke's face in Naruto. He's always just like this. And she's just like. So as she's walking through, like she's trying to order coffee once, she's walking through and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so cool!" And
the funny thing, everyone thinks she's so cool.
The art changes, like the art changes, and her face just goes like this, and that's how she actually is. But everyone's just seeing stone face. Like show a piece of her face where it's like,
oh, well, like here she's just like right there.
Yeah, there's her stone
that's
face,
her.
And then.
What are you talking about? Oh, that.
Yes, this.
That one, yeah.
This.
Yeah.
That's what she really feels. That's how she really feels. She's just like, oh my
That's
goodness.
Funny.
But basically, she has a dream, and that dream is to make 100 friends. And she stays behind and talks to Tagano.
Yeah, Tadano is like...
Yeah, Tadano.
He's really friendly. He's kind of a pushover.
The main thing in his ability, he can read people really well.
He's super normal.
Yeah, he's super normal, but he can read people really well. Like he can tell exactly what their main attribute is.
But like he like kind of takes her in. He's like, you know, I get it, you know.
They write on the board and talk that way. And that's how they have their first conversation.
That was really cute. But so they have a whole conversation on the blackboard. Mm-hmm. And eventually they become friends, and like she doesn't even have a cell phone, and he's like, I'll give you my number, and she's like, on the phone. And he's like, why don't you have a phone? She's like, I never needed one. Yeah. It's like, oh.
And then she gets a flip phone later on.
Yeah.
And she accidentally calls him, and she's actually able to talk to him.
Yeah, she actually talks to him on the phone.
And when he hangs up, he's like, oh my god, her voice is like an angel.
There's one part where she has to order Starbucks for some girl, and she just like the guy takes
like, the order.
I know
exactly what you want.
And he fixes it up. She's like,
"This is no way near what I want."
She just leaves.
She just takes it and leaves. I don't even think she pays. But yeah, so she hands it back, and they make friends with the most sociable person in school, and they are always old friends with like every student, like because they change schools a lot. They're like, oh yeah, we go way back. Yeah. And so
it's that kid that you knew that knew
everyone. Yeah. And they're always like, hold on, I promised to eat lunch with 3 groups today.
Yeah.
They're always on the move. Yeah. But they're helping Komi now because
And the way the book is broken up, there's like 19 chapters. So
the
it's
chapter's
super
really small.
short.
The last friend I think they make in this one is also another girl who has bad anxiety, but she doesn't like just freeze up and look stone cold. She just like shakes and mumbles and like that. So like regular.
Yeah.
And Komi immediately feels kindred with her.
Yeah.
And Komi like inspires her to like go through and do something because like a teacher asked her to tell everyone that that PE is in the gym today, and so she goes and she's like, Komi needs me to say this. Gym is in the PE today. I mean, PE is in the... That was me messing up. She got it right.
Even she did it better
than me. But anyway, so she's like, oh my goodness, I can do anything through Komi. I'll be your dog, is what she said.
Yeah, she did say that. And they were voting for class president
and
one
they're like,
time.
but president is not good enough for Komi. And they're like, Empress
Let's
Komi.
make her god.
Yeah, they vote her god. Komi is god of the class. And they're like, okay, but we need a president.
Then Tadano's the president.
Tadano's good enough. Just make him president. He's got my vote.
Yeah.
And they play these like social games, and they're like, if you lose,
they're clapping in the circle.
they're clapping in the circle and everything. And they're like, if you lose, you got to make a kissy face. And they're like, everyone's like, we want to see Komi's kissy face because everyone has a crush on her. And Tadano loses on purpose, and everyone's just like, I hate you so much. But he's like, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Yeah, this was super fun.
Yeah. Also a bit of romance.
A little bit. It looks like it could be going toward that, but I don't know. By the way, it's by Tomohito Oda.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting to say the authors of these, but I would give it 8.5. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5.
It's super fun and cute, and like it kind of makes you happy reading it.
It does.
I just don't know if I want to keep spending money on it.
Yeah, because it's just not the genre we usually read.
And it's also just like, I just don't know if it's worth it. You know, like it's not really going anywhere. It's just about a girl in class.
Yeah. If you've read Komi Can't Communicate, tell us.
But if you like slice of life type stuff, I definitely recommend this. It was good.
Yeah, I'm not big into slice of life.
Yeah.
Next we got
our
Demon
background
Slayer.
here, Demon Slayer. So this is actually about to end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was the one I was probably most excited for, other than No Gun Slide.
Yep, we got
to read.
Tanjiro.
But this is by Koyoharu Gotoge.
Yep.
Gotoge? I don't know.
So we open up and it's just a bunch of people saying Tanjiro's name, and he's just a simple boy who makes a living. He lives on a mountain and he goes to town and sells charcoal.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's demons in the forest, Tanjiro, so here, just stay with us tonight. You don't have to travel home tonight. And so when he gets home, he finds that his family has been slaughtered by demons, except for his little sister, Nezuko. And she has gotten demon blood into her wound.
The art is so great in this book.
And the demon blood, when it gets inside your blood, turns you into a demon. So Nezuko is now a demon, and she attacks him.
Yep, here she is attacking him now. So, like, he cares about his sister. He doesn't want her to...
Yeah, and he doesn't want to kill her. So then a demon slayer named Giyu Tomioka shows up and is like, well, I'm going to kill your sister. She's a demon now.
She's a demon. I'm a demon
she's
slayer.
A demon. I'm a demon slayer. It's kind of what we do around here. Mm-hmm. But apparently he sees that Nezuko can, like, fight against the... impulse to eat flesh, because she chooses not to attack.
She didn't eat her brother.
Yeah, she didn't eat Tanjiro.
And that's kind of a new thing. So.
And also, when she turned into a demon, she turned into like a full-grown woman.
Yeah.
But demons can't exist in the sunlight. So when Tanjiro proves to Giyu, or to Tomioka, that he has what it takes to find a cure for his sister, she tells him to find Sekonji Urokodaki, and that's a sensei, and he'll train you if you're worthy. Yeah. So then he gets a basket, and he's like, "Can you hide in here? Can you make yourself?" She like goes face first, but she's like, her other half of her body is sticking out because she's like a full-grown woman now. He's like, "Can you make yourself smaller?" And she does, and she turns into just like boop. It's always cute in the anime.
I like how the demon slayers have special swords.
Mm-hmm.
Like cool. They're katanas, but they're
katanas, and they're made out of a special metal that can kill demons. Because other regular stuff just won't do it.
So Tanjiro trains with this sensei, and
Urokodaki.
like he learns a lot from him, and he becomes a great fighter.
So
but his last
task
is to like
split
cut
a boulder.
this giant boulder in half, which is like really freaking hard with just a sword.
And Tanjiro is trying to think about it.
A year and a half on this, doesn't he?
And he sees these people wearing masks, like a girl.
These two kids.
Yeah, these two kids, a girl and a boy. And so they train. The girl helps him, like she points out the flaws in his footwork and his stance and everything. And then he trains with the dude, and he always gets beaten.
He learns all these special forms, like water wheel.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
But he finally beats the dude, and when he beats him, like, he realizes that he wasn't there, but the boulder is split in half. So when he did the final strike, he split the boulder. And his master is like, I never thought you would do this. I made that boulder thicker than I ever did before. But I think you might be able to do this. So I'm going to send you to final selection up on this mountain. And the mountain has these flowers ringing around it, and the flowers are like hurtful to demons. So the top of the mountain is just filled with demons, and they send all these kids up there, and they're like, if you survive for like a week, you can be a demon slayer. And he finds this demon who's like killing a bunch of them, and the demon was captured by Urokodaki. And he's like, I always know when Urokodaki sends a student, because he always gives them a mask, and you have one of those masks. So you're going to be like my 50th kill and the 12th. And he lets him know that the little girl and the fox dude that he saw and trained with were his predecessors. That was the last ones that he killed. Well, not the last ones, but those are the ones he remembers the most, and the ones he says were the most exciting. So.
Yeah, here he is fighting one of those demons. Apparently this one killed those two.
Yeah,
kids.
That's what I was just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Do you listen to me at all?
Dude, I'm looking for stuff in here, and I'm kind of tuning you out. I'm sorry. But yeah, all these like water moves he learns are pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the sword. My bad. Sorry.
I just went on a full thing about it, and
I'll see it later.
Anyways.
Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. What do you give it? A 9?
9.5.
Oh, near mint.
Near mint.
Yeah, I'm there too. 9.5. Very good series. It gets a lot of praise, and it's worth it. It's very worthy of that praise. So, and I've got several more volumes of this too, so I'm going to continue with that.
We're quickly just becoming a manga channel with the way comics are going.
I mean, I've just been really into manga lately, and there's a lot of good series you can read right now. They're coming out. Like this one, No Guns Life, by Tasuku Karasuma. So this is about Inui?
It's Juzo.
Juzo Inui.
Yeah, Juzo Inui, and he's the resolver. Dun, dun, dun,
So
dun.
as you can tell, this guy has a gun for a head.
Yes.
So in this world,
and that is my main complaint. I just think that his design is stupid for a world.
Yeah.
Like, it's just no.
But it's Japanese.
It
sci-fi.
is. It's Japanese sci-fi. I just can't get over how stupid that any nation or company would make a war robot with a gun for a head, and it needs a partner to fire it.
That's why I love it, because it's so out there.
I can't. I'm all into realistic sci-fi and army stuff and military stuff, and I'm just
There's a lot of that in here, too.
There is, but just the main character is like, I'm a gunhead.
But anyway, the resolver. So, like, in this world, people, they're called the extended. So that means, like, whenever
cybernetic
you have an enhancement, you're called the extended.
And there's a lot of...
There's a company that does it. They're called Barurin.
Barurin, yes.
So they pretty much own the whole world.
Yeah.
Like, they literally own everything.
And there's a war in the background, and the resolver fought in that war, and that's why he's all
that's
this...
why he's a gunhead.
Why he's a gunhead extended.
And he had a partner, kind of like a sniper and a spotter.
Yeah.
He had a partner who would pull the trigger on the back of his head.
And I guess the partner is dead. Because he ain't around.
We'll see.
And he doesn't trust anyone, just anyone.
But he also has these little revolvers on his hands and stuff, so he's not just a gunhead.
Yeah, he's not just a gunhead. So,
and he's kind of like a detective vibe. Like
he
like
solves
a private
problems.
investigator.
He solves problems between extended and non-extended, because as you can tell, there's a lot of like between the purebred humans and robot people.
Yeah. a lot of people have some pretty cool
Extensions,
enhancements, too.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. But like he's just like walking along having a regular night, you know, and he smokes cigarettes. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and they're called
Tony
Tonigashima cigarettes.
Tanigashima, yeah.
Tonigashima.
So you find out later that those cigarettes are actually like they have something in them that like helps extended people. So like it makes them feel better because enhancements like somehow like deteriorate their body or something.
You know how in Futurama the robots are powered off of alcohol, so Bender's always drinking? Well, in this world they're powered off cigarettes.
Yeah,
so that's
apparently.
another vice powered
The stuff
robots.
that's in these special cigarettes. But like he's just going along, it's a regular night, and then this like giant extended dude
It's a rogue extended, and they were looking for him before.
breaks
he
into
knows
his
office.
and he's just like, "Help me! They're after me."
And he's like, "What did you do?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I took a boy." It's like, this is not helping.
I took a boy.
I took a boy. This is not helping.
He's holding a little boy.
Yeah.
And so like the people with Baruran, like they come in, they're like, "Hey, you know, there's a rogue extended around here. Have you seen him?" And he's like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Well, can we search the place?" And he's like, "No, you cannot." And he's just kind of a hard ass about it. Doesn't let him in his office. It's pretty funny. So they keep looking somewhere else. But he takes that the kid and takes it with him, and like there's this like crazy nun with guns that chases after him. Bless you.
The nun shows up, and she's like a real nun is what she looks for. Like, she runs an orphanage, and she's like, "Oh, you found him, thank goodness." And he's immediately can call out her bullshit. And then the nun clothes comes off, and she's a corpo agent. Like here. No, not that. It was way before.
Which part are you talking about?
When she like attacks him.
I mean, there's a part where he punches a train.
Yeah, he punches a freaking train.
Yeah, I don't know, but like
It was earlier on. It was like,
I'll show some art of
Yeah.
this book. It's pretty good art. So like he
he takes the boy to his friend, and she's a mechanic. She works with Extended.
So, like, apparently the boy is, like, the son of the head of Baruran, right?
Mhm.
The CEO.
And he has a very...
has
a
experimental
prototype, yeah.
type where, like, his extension is that he can take over another person
Another Extended.
through their to their extension. So, like...
Remember, Extended are not people, Riley.
Yes, they are. Gosh. But, like, he can just take them over. So that's, like, a big deal.
Yeah.
And you find out that extended that broke into his office was the kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was holding himself.
He took over that Extended.
Yeah.
So while they're hiding out at this mechanic shop, there's a local gang, and the local gang controls the area, and Baruran does not have full control here.
Right.
Like so. Baruran, though, sends some other prototypes into the area, some other rogue Extended. Well, not rogue, they're prototype Extended, and they're these two girls. And one, like, controls the other, and the other is, like, a very, like, powerful Extended, deadly.
Yeah,
and
one's really powerful, and the other one just kind of keeps her grounded.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, that other girl would lose her mind if she didn't have her friend with her. So they kind of duke it out.
Yeah. And
Her power's scary.
No, what
too.
happens is she starts killing a lot of these gangsters and Extended in this area, and the gang knows that Gunhead is here, that Juzo is here, like because they have eyes everywhere.
Because the kid takes over Juzo too.
Yeah, because
they won't help me. I'll help me.
Yeah, they want Juzo to take out whoever's killing these Extended. He's like, no, this ain't my problem.
Yeah.
And then, but the kid's like, no, you have to. This is a bad problem. We need to help. And the kid's like, man, fuck you, kid. No. He's just like, no, kid, I ain't risking my ass for this. And he's like, okay, well, I'll risk it for you. Yeah. And boom, takes him over. But then he quickly learns that he has no idea how to fight or how the real world works. Yeah. So he almost gets killed. He relinquishes control back to Juzo, and Juzo kicks ass.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see how it ended.
It ends with him basically saying, "Don't you ever take over me again, or I will kill you."
Oh, he says, also, you got a zit on your left butt cheek. There are things you don't talk about.
Yeah, there's moments like that too, because he comes off as such a hard ass, and then they say something like that, and he's like, "Dude, Mom, get out of my room."
It reminds me, if you've watched Doom Patrol, it reminds me of the robot guy on there. It's just like that. Alright, so that gets a 9.5 from me. I really
I'll
love
give it an
this.
8.5.
And I'm excited to read. This is one of the ones I'm really excited to read. I got like 2 through 7
Yep.
of that. So
So
next we got Mujirushi
Yep,
by Naoki Urasawa.
and that's a drama.
Yep. So Urasawa has a lot of good series that he's known for, like top tier mangas. So I was really expecting to be blown away here, but this is probably the bottom of the barrel for Urasawa, in my opinion. So this is Mujirushi. It's about a little girl. What's her name?
Kasumi.
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 But
Okay.
her dad is
her-
kind of a deadbeat. And
Her father owns a plastic working factory, and he makes a bad decision to evade his taxes, and they get in financial trouble.
And they get
his
audited.
his wife wins a luxury cruise, and she runs off with the dude from the cleaners to go on a love cruise.
Sure does.
And so she leaves him, and then he overhears these two dudes in a bar talking about the U.S. presidential election, and Beverly whatever is basically female Trump.
Yeah.
And they make these plastic Beverly Duncan masks, and he fills up his warehouse with them. But the election ends up being tame. Like, she doesn't go off and do like the Trump things, and so no one buys any of the masks. So he's got a warehouse filled with these masks, and he's poor. He's getting ready to kill himself. But then a crow flies over, and he's like, "Wait, there's something on the leg," and he takes the leg off, and not the leg. He doesn't
take the leg off.
He rips off the leg. No, he rips whatever's
He pulls
on
the
the
note
leg.
off the leg.
And it says FRI, and that's the French Research Institute. And he meets this dude who's like a traditional Japanese character, like artist. So his teeth are like really bucked out, and basically it's like
What is that
it's like a
character's
racist
name?
caricature if it was drawn by a U.S. American person. Like it's how they drew the Japanese for like World War II propaganda posters, pretty much.
He has a name. He's like a
He's
iconic character.
FRI. That's what he's called here. He goes by FRI. But he's the head of La France Research Institute. And he goes over about the Louvre. And,
Yami
yes.
from Osamatsu-kun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's from the mid-'60s Japan.
Yeah. And he is well connected to the president of France. He knows this old woman who was like a huge French singer. Like, she was really big in that. And he was in love with a Japanese woman named Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyoto went to live in France, and she raised an orphan named Michael.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, French. And basically, he's a badass firefighter, and he rescues people. But basically, so their plan is to steal the lace.
Hide a plant.
Yeah, they're
painting.
gonna hide a painting called
So
the
that
Lace Maker,
they can
so
make
that
fake
they can make fake
copies
art
and sell them as the real
because
one.
everyone thinks that the real one has been stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And the plane does not go off because the dad
He just can't do it.
he just can't do it. He can't be a thief. But what happens, there's these two dudes, and they're sitting on a major scandal. Like, they took a picture on the same cruise that that the dad's wife went on. She spilled wine on this dude's jacket. And the dude is a huge, like, weapons maker, millionaire, CEO of a company in nuclear weapons research. And they find,
Some colored
yeah.
pictures here.
they take a picture of him getting his jacket dry cleaned, but the person who's given the staff the dry cleaning isn't him, it's Beverly Duncan. She went on a cruise with this dude, so they find out this connection between Duncan and this weapons magnate who has done very well since she became president. And so they're like, if we release this, man, we're gonna get killed. Like, this is something you get killed over. We're not big enough for this. But so their plan, the dad and Kasumi, the French dude, and Michael who helps him. Their plan is they pass out all of these containers, and they're telling people, because I mean Michael's a firefighter. They're saying it's part of a fire drill. And when you hear this instrument go off, you'll open this for the instructions. And once the instrument finally goes off, and it's basically Michael just screaming because they lose the instrument, they all open it up, and it's the same. It's plastic mask. It's the plastic Beverly Duncan mask. So they all start wearing it, and they all start making the same noise as the instrument, which is boo. So while they're doing that, and there's police trying to take them, but they end up not taking the painting.
When the world news gets a hold of this, they think that they're all booing Beverly Duncan.
Yeah, they think that there's a mass protest. So that's when the journal has actually released this scandal, and so now everyone wants to buy these masks. So now the dad's warehouse full of masks can't keep up. They're in overdrive to make more, and they're making a whole bunch of money. And his whore wife comes back. She's like, "I'm so sorry, I left you. I don't know why I'm Italian now."
And I think they just take her back in too.
Yeah.
That was the crappy part.
Yeah. And then it shows because Kasumi goes back to France to visit Michael, because he's like the only responsible adult in her life. And he tells her about Kyoto and how she was in love with the guy who runs the French Research Institute. There's also a side plot with a Japanese detective, and he interviews the French dude, and because he gets told by these art thieves, they're like, he's very eccentric. He has buck teeth and a mustache. He's Japanese.
Yep.
And he finds him and goes up. He's like, "I know it's you, but I ain't got no proof."
Come to
But
find
then,
out, there's another guy that looks kinda
they're like,
like him.
another department just made the arrest. Here he is, and the dude's like, "That can't be." What? And
That's him?
He's like, "That's not him." Oh, that's so hard there. But yeah, there's a crow that goes by the name Maria, because it's only.
Thank you for just sprinkling that in there.
It fits.
I don't know, like, I just felt like there was all this build up, and then it's just. Did you not feel that?
No, I thought the build up was, they're gonna steal it, and then there was the twist that there was this big scandal, and it got released, and because of that, he's able to make money off those masks he made instead of being a thief and getting thrown in jail.
It just felt like a cheap Trump trashing.
I did not think that. No,
I just didn't think, which I'm fine with if the story is good, but I just didn't feel like it went anywhere for me.
It went to La France, Riley. They started in Japan and they went to La France.
I just don't get it.
It read to me like, like a very good novel, like that you have to read for English class, like with the twists like that, and it's like, why am I reading this? But at the end, you're like, okay. That's how it kind of read for me. It's like something you would read in English class.
I'm fine with the twists. I mean, that's not what I mean.
I like the twist.
I just don't.
And the Beverly Duncan thing, I mean, she looks like Trump, but that's it. Everything related to it, like she
was the same.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
No, it totally was.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
It totally wasn't.
No,
I'm pretty sure Trump isn't banging the CEO of a nuclear weapons company.
No, but he was still no, but he's still got that whole thing with the Russians and stuff. It's the same kind of thing. Even though he's not banging them,
but that ain't the same thing though.
It kind of is.
And also, none of that happened because there was no proof of it. It was just a bunch of bullshit.
But I'm just saying,
it's not. It's not though.
That's what this is.
But it's not though.
It totally is.
It's really not.
And there's more in here that I can't remember because there's just little things sprinkled in throughout the whole story, but
it's a lot of moving parts. I liked it.
It's just,
it gets an 8 from me.
I don't know. I feel like he's just fighting for relevancy by throwing that stuff in. You know what I mean?
No, because it all makes sense in the end with all the plot points.
I disagree. This gets a 5 from me.
Riley just can't accept complex plot lines.
No, I'm fine with complex. This just felt like no plot.
Okay, take it away on this one because I barely remember anything.
So, what, did you read it first or something?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay,
so I was like, I want to get this out of the way.
This one I'd prefer. This was called Perfect World by Rie Aruga. So, this is our romance book. I know, I love a romance book.
Yeah, you do.
So
you love this book.
I do love this book, but it's about this guy. What's his name?
It's
Ayukawa.
Ayukawa. The girl's name is Koana.
Koana. Okay. So Ayukawa,
Kawama Ulala.
the two of them used to go to high school together, right? But they haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah, they were really good friends. Then he got a girlfriend. She started seeing him less. And then they meet at a business.
I got this.
Okay, I was just telling the one thing I do.
You've
I remember.
Yeah, but you've been doing this whole thing. I
That
just
is
wanted to do this one.
You go ahead.
I'll do this one.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
You got it.
so like they haven't seen each other in a long time, and they eventually meet up at some like work thing where they get together and they're like, "Hey, let's have a little mixer or whatever," and they're like, "Ayukawa? Kawana? What?"
What?
But like,
Pog.
what she doesn't know is that Ayukawa's in a wheelchair now, so he didn't
And
used to be
the first
in a
thing she
wheelchair.
thinks is, I can't date a guy in a wheelchair. That's what she thinks.
It is, yeah, kind of crappy at that point. But like, so he was in an accident, I think a car crash or
Yep.
something. But he got
was on
paralyzed.
he was on a bike.
Like in college, I think, maybe.
Yep.
But anyway, he used to be really good at basketball, right? Everybody knew him for that, and he had that girl that he was dating in high school, and like when he got in that accident, she like couldn't be with him anymore. She was just like, she felt it was a good reason. Like it just sucks that it worked out that way. But like she's like, you know, he doesn't want. It was actually him that said that like leave me.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to take care of me because like he has all these problems with like muscle ache, like phantom pains. And like the thing where he like craps himself in his sleep or
Yep.
something. Like it goes into really a lot of detail with that type of stuff. But eventually he starts to come around when he's hanging out with Kawana more. And she like comes around to the idea of being with someone in a wheelchair. So he is an architect, and she's like an interior design or
Yep.
something like that. So he's in this competition where he has to like design a plan for a building, and like they'll pick the winner. Throughout like they're all competing, I think, in the same firm or something. But I think they win, maybe. But his plan had layouts for wheelchair ramps and stuff. It was for a restaurant, I think.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, it's very expensive and we don't really have room for that. And they kept like, you know, downplaying it and stuff. But like, eventually they came around to it and his idea worked. But while he was working on this, he had that thing happen where he was hospitalized because he had like an infection or something. But like he couldn't feel it because it was like, you know, below the waist and stuff. So like when he had that infection, he didn't know it until he was like had a super big fever and stuff and was about to freaking die. But he got in the hospital and got better. But while he was like sweating with a fever and like delirious kind of, he was working on that plan. Like he was working really hard on that. And she was like, you need to take it easy, I'm worried about you and stuff. And but he got it done, and eventually like I don't remember how they find this kitten. No, it was some random kitten at the hospital outside, and they're like, well, it's getting cold, you know, this thing's gonna freeze, someone needs to take it in. And so they take it. I think he takes it home, and it like gets out. It goes out through the window or something in his apartment, and and it's snowing outside. And they're like, "Gosh, we need to find it." So he goes out with her, and they go to find it, and they never can find it. And they're like, "Oh gosh, it's gonna freaking die and stuff." And they come back to his apartment, and it's just in the drawer. It never even left. But they were super worried about it. Like they couldn't find it.
Suki knows we're talking about a cat.
Yeah. But the whole time they're both struggling with this idea. He doesn't want to let her in because he doesn't want her to have to take care of him. And she is just like, you know, she recognizes that, and she's like, you know, I really like him, and you know, I could probably learn to do that for him just because I like him. And then they end up kissing at the end.
Yes.
So you can tell
kiss.
this had like an ending to it, but it could go on more. I think the author thought that maybe she wouldn't get more time to write it, but it is continuing still, and I've got volume 2, so I'm excited for that. Not really a lot happened to make me like really love this, but the way that it had to build up toward the end and the way it ended, I feel like the next volume is going to be really good. So that's what made me buy volume 2. So that gets a 9 for me.
8 for me. Or a 7.5. Just romance, not my genre. I need action and blood.
Gosh, Wyatt. Love's for chumps.
Love, that's for pussies.
Well, you want action? Well, I've got Golden Kamuy.
Golden Kamuy. I'm Immortal Sojimoto.
By Satoru Noda. So yes, this is about the Immortal Sojimoto. This takes place in the late 19th to early 20th century.
Yep.
So. Anyway.
Anyways.
So like they've got just the bolt action rifles.
Yeah, they got the Type 99 Arasaka bolt action rifle with bayonets for the bonsai charge.
So you'll get flashbacks to when he was in the army, when he was fighting the Russians.
Yes, so the Russo-Japanese War, which is just right at like 1905, I believe, is when that happened.
Yeah.
And they're fighting in they were fighting in Manchuria.
And believe it or not, this is very similar to the time in America. It's like the gold rush era.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a bit of gold rush, like even in Japan. But they talk about the gold rush in America too, and that stuff.
So he's in a mountain, way north, like a northern island in the Japanese islands.
So like when you look at Japan, there's that top triangle part that looks like a head. That's called Hokkaido, and that's where most of this is going to take place. Hokkaido is off to itself. It's not actually connected to mainland, and it's a lot colder there.
It's like an island of Siberia. Like the animals are bigger because it's colder. It's like a completely different place from Japan.
Yeah, and it even has different species.
Yeah,
of
and the natives to this are called the Ainu. And so the main story here is
kind of similar to like the, what do you call them? The people of Antarctica.
Eskimos.
Yeah, I thought Eskimo was like a derogatory term though. They
No,
call
that's
them
their
something
name.
else. They call it something else, but I don't
Inuit.
know. Yeah, that's probably it. It's very similar. It's kind of like a Japanese Native American.
Yeah.
But so
Sujimoto is panning for gold, and there's old dude,
story
and the old dude tells him the story of a dude who he killed a bunch of Ainu and stole this gold they found and got imprisoned.
like a ton of gold.
Yeah, and the guards all wanted to find the location of where it was because he hid it, and he wouldn't tell them. And so what he did was he told the other prisoners by tattooing the map on them, but it wasn't tattooed like the tattoo didn't tell what it was.
It's tattooed in a shape to where you'd have to fillet the guy.
Yeah,
and
basically,
pull the skin
you need to
off.
pull the skin off, put all the tattoos together, and that's how you find
And
the
there's
treasure.
a lot of them.
Yep. And there's 20, I think, all in total.
Yeah.
And so Sujimoto goes after, is like, I'm gonna go after this, but then he meets a girl, a little Ainu girl, like she's like 13, 14.
Asurpa?
Yeah, Asurpa's her name. And she basically helps him kill a bear, and then helps him kill a bigger bear.
A freaking huge bear.
Yeah, because this bigger bear killed the old man and this is why Sujimoto believed him, because the old man was drunk, and then he realizes, he's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have told you that. I got too drunk, and tries to run away, and that's when Sujimoto finds his corpse. He got mauled by a bear.
Yeah.
So, after dealing with the bears, Asurpa is the daughter of one of the Ainus who got killed by that criminal. So, she also believes in. She goes with him because
Apparently she knows a really cool freaking wolf.
yeah. I'll suku your claws.
I love this wolf. It's really cool. But yeah, they go into town and they're like looking for these guys with tattoos.
they go to onsens and the brothels, places where people see people without their shirt on because they ask about tattoos. And they make these traps as they move into the forest, and they catch a guy, and they're like, oh my gosh, are they going to skin him? But no, a Sherpa is apparently a very talented artist, so she can just sit down, take the dude's shirt off, and she writes down the tattoo so they can get it that way instead of having to skin him.
Then they fight this one guy. Isn't he the one that has the weapons everywhere?
No, they fight a soldier, and he's from the 7th Division, the Hokkaido Regiment.
The good one. The legendary one, right? The legendary division.
Well, yeah, they're known for that because they're from Hokkaido, and Hokkaido is inhospitable, cold, so they're tough. Mm-hmm. But they're not Immortal Sojimoto tough, and he's from the 1st Division, which was around Tokyo. So that's like the Imperial, like full-on bonsai.
No, I know he's a legend, but I think like their entire division was legendary.
They're very well recommended. So Sojimoto, we find out that the reason he's after gold and money is because he had to leave his home village because of a plague. His parents and family got infected with it, and he thought it was too. So he left the village, and he had to leave the woman he loved, and he told her to marry his best friend because he'll take care of her. And his best friend does. And the best friend wants to go to America because his eyes are bad, and the eye surgery is the least expensive in America, so he'll be able to afford it. But he dies in the war. So Sojimoto promises that he will get the money and take his wife, because it was his wife who had the bad vision, not him. But take his wife, and the wife is the one that Sojimoto loves. Take her to America and get her cured.
Yeah, so his buddy dies, and now that's like his mission now.
So they get some pieces of the map, and they discover that the 7th Hokkaido Regiment is also hunting these tattooed people.
Yep. And
because they want the gold. The guard at the Supermax prison want it, and these other criminals want it. And they find another new criminal, and he is well known because he's an escape artist. He can basically dislocate his bones. And
he's going through this little window right there. Like his whole body's going to go through there.
And he basically hides objects on him anyway. He uses his prison wallet.
He has a razor blade in his teeth.
Yep. And he gets free when they're trying to write down.
I think he throws up a bullet too.
Yeah, and so he runs away. Freaking Sojimoto tackles him into a river, but there's a blizzard, and basically they're like, okay, it's gonna get really cold. We're gonna die if we don't get a fire. And his matches and everything are all wet. But he's like, hold on, if I get a bullet and I take a bullet out of the case and just fire the case, and that'll start a fire. And so I need a bullet. And all his bullets fell out of his rifle.
A knife and a rock, and they hit it into the bullet, and it fires.
So that starts the fire, and basically they just shoot the shit over a fire and not dying. And he tells Sojimoto everything he knows about it.
And this is the guy with the regiment that's
that's
come after him.
That's the CEO of the 7th.
Scary half-faced guy. So yeah, this gets a 9.5 for me.
10.
You giving it a 10?
I'm giving it a 10. So
I thought Jujutsu was your favorite. You gave it a 9.5.
No, didn't I give it a 10?
You said 9.5, 10.
I said 9.5, 10. So see, 9.5, no,
so
10.
That's 9.75.
9.75 there,
I'm just
10
with
Jujutsukasan.
So Jujutsukasan, definitely recommend that.
Yep.
It's up to like 17 or 18 now.
And it has an anime.
Yeah, it does. So that's everything we read. We read a manga from every genre, according to Right Stuff Media.
Chimi-Manga, a manga from every genre.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know if you're reading any of these or watching them. Some of these have anime. And we'll catch you next time.
Peace out. Dong.